Hello. What do you do when people lie to you? How do you feel? How do you feel when people lie to you? What do you do when people lie to you? Here's a picture of me. That's me. That is me. Joey Arnold, Original Oatmeal. That was back in February. This is Kathy. Kathy. Her name is Kathy. That's her Vietnamese name. Back to the story. What do you do when people lie to you? Let me know. I'm Oatmeal, and this is my bowl, and I want to tell you a little bit about this story about how a Vietnamese girl named Kathy stole my bike because he stole money. My bike was around $200 USD, American money, United States money. Around that much, that's about 4 million VND. That's Vietnamese money. Since now I'm in Vietnam since 2012, I want to tell you a little bit about this story. I'm sorry if I'm talking a little too fast, but I feel like maybe if you heard this story before, then you might be sick of it. But in a way, I think that the story should be told. I think that the story is really important, and you may not understand why, but I want to tell you a little bit about the story and why it's important. And it's not just because of the bike. It's not just about me. It's not just about her. It's about the illustrations of what the story stands for. I believe that this story illustrates a lot of things that are bigger in a lot of other things in life, and that's why I'm trying to tell you the story. It's not just about me. It's not just about her. So let me tell you a little bit about the story. And what do you do? What do you do when people lie to you? I got this from my blog spot, Joeyomnia, joeyomnia.blogspot.com. So here is a post that I wrote. The address is here, but it's kind of hard to read. 2014-09, Kathy owes me money, script.html. So I just want to show you what I wrote here and read it to you. This is my face. This is what I look like right now without a tie. This red shirt. Red used to be my favorite color, and then it was green. And before it was red, it was blue. Really important colors. Stay true to your colors. Stay true to your integrity. Don't just go with the flow of traffic, even though it seems better that way. It's not actually better that way. We need to do what's right in life. And that's the point of this video, is to tell you, hey, we need some confrontation. We need accountability. When somebody does something wrong, you need to tell that person you did something wrong, and you need to confess. And that's the number one thing about the story is the girl here. She's not confessing what she did wrong. I mean, she kind of confessed to me a few times, but in a way she's not really confessing. She denies what is going on. But it's important to at least say, yes, I made a mistake, and I stole from you, I did you wrong, I lied to you. And if she's willing to do that, then I'm willing to say, okay, good. It's good. It's good to be open. It's good to be honest about what happens in life. And I believe that's very important in life. If you want to mature, if you want to have more character development in your life, you need to do that. You need to be upfront and honest about what you do, because we're not perfect. At this point in human history, we're not perfect, and we make mistakes, and we need to let other people know that we make these mistakes and that we're not perfect. So what do you do when people lie to you? So here's the story. See, Kathy stole my bike. It was an electric bike, and it was around 200 USD. That's around 4 million. Around that much. I'm rounding it up. Here is a photo of me and Kathy, as you saw earlier. This is me and Kathy. I was her friend, but she would always call me her boyfriend, because that's what she would call everybody. Has anybody ever stolen money from you? Has anybody ever lied to you? How do you feel when people do you wrong? I want to tell you about Kathy. Her name is Kathy. Her email is katiefoong@gmail.com. Alright. Can you email her? Can you contact her? Ask Kathy about this. Kathy's contact information. Katie, Kathy, Phung Tao, Yu Dung, Katie Phung, at gmail.com. That's her email. Please email her. This is her phone number. 128-659-6055. Một hai tâm chào tham. Wait, chào. What is it? Chào. Wait, tham nam. Jin. What is it? Chào công nam nam. And then her mother's phone number too. 91-362-4778. Her Facebook. One of her Facebooks is facebook.com/PhungTao1984. She was born in 1984. Her other email is facebook.com/Kathy Tao Dung. Her address is 753 Phung 12. That's a ward 12. District 8, Quận, Quận 8, Ho Chi Minh, Tham Pho. How do you say Tham Pho? Ho Chi Minh, Đất nước, Vietnam in Asia, Southeast Asia, Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh City, that's Saigon. District 8, that's where she was living last year, 2013. And I don't know if she still lives there, but her mother probably still lived there, even though they were gonna plan to live in District 1, I think. I want to tell you about this story. For the record, I'm not mad. A lot of times, people are like, "Oh man, you're mad. Stop crying. Stop crying on all this Facebook, on the Facebook status, or the videos that I make that are crazy and stupid." Some people say, and people say you need to stop crying, stop complaining. And I'm here to say I'm not complaining. I'm not sad. I'm not upset. Sometimes I make a little bit of a drama. I make a little bit of fireworks, as Jeff Walters said once. And I do a little bit of that to get people to listen and to understand what I'm trying to say. I say a little bit of some things in different points of view, or sometimes I use words a little more creatively than it should be allowed, but I still do it because I'm trying to get people's attention so that people can see what I'm thinking and what I believe in, because some of the things that I believe in is really true and actually true, and you need to realize that there's more life than what you think, and you need to get out of the box. You need to ask questions and go beyond that, go the distance, because life is not as easy and simple as you may think. Some things are easy, but some things are hard, and it's all intermixed together. And that's what I'm trying to tell you about. And I want you to go on a magic carpet ride and go this direction and see what I'm trying to say. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no or where to go. Say we're only dreaming. Da da da, da da da. So remember, this is me. This is what I look like. I'm Joey Arnold, Joseph Scott Arnold. My father was born in Rasp, and his father was born in Holland. But my father was born in California, Los Angeles, and I was born in Forest Grove, Oregon. So I'm an American. I'm a native English speaker. I've been teaching in English, in Vietnam since 2012. Here I am. This is what I look like. Joey Arnold. I call myself the original Oatmeal. Wing Hail. This is me and Kathy, as you may already saw. That's me, and that's my friend. Just a friend, but she would say more than a friend, but that was not true. And she took my bike. Kathy took my bike. That's me. This is her. Now, you think I'm mad because of the way I'm talking, but the way I talk does not necessarily mean that I'm mad. It just means that I'm passionate. There's a difference between passion and anger and madness, and you need to realize that there are differences between those kinds of things. People who know me the most know that I don't really get mad at anything. Like some people, like Matt Kurtz, he said, "Man, do you ever get mad? I've never seen you mad." And then we were trying to make a video, and they were saying, you need to get mad. You need to get mad. And then I wasn't getting mad. And the only way I can get mad is if I'm acting. I'm not really acting. Like, if there was no camcorder in front of me, I wouldn't be talking like this. Sometimes I talk to like this in front of people, but not all the time. And I only do that to try to make a point, to try to persuade people, because that's the point of communication. So, let me tell you about this story. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars. No, this is not Star Wars. This is, Bike Wars. Kathy War. Kathy took my bike, yeah. Now I feel like I'm on strike. Kathy took my bike, and now I'm on a strike. So, for the record, I'm not mad. My mother always says, to forgive and forget. And I really do, but that's besides the point, and you're missing the point. And it's irrelevant to ask me to forgive and forget, because I do. But, see, this story stands for something that's a lot bigger than that. And you can read about my stories, like I said before, at joeyomnia.blogspot.com. You can read more. And you can also read some of it at originaloatmeal.blogspot.com. And also, like, a lot of other websites, too. Like, webs.com and Tumblr, Pinterest. You can specifically read this story. You can read this story at joeyarnold.com/2014/02/Kathy owes me money script.html. And it'll take you to this page in case you want to read it. Add me on Facebook. Ask your friends to send me friend requests and suggestions. And you can follow me at facebook.com/originaloatmeal. Oatmeal. You can follow me at OriginalOatmeal. And you can see more about me. That's me. A little bit blurry, but that's life. Life is always moving. And when you're in emotion, you're usually blurry. At least to the camcorder and also to other people too at times. We may not realize that. But hey, watch my YouTube videos. You can see my videos at youtube.com/OriginalOatmeal. And my homepage is at miaomnia.com/o. It's a website that I'm working on with a friend in America. We're trying to make the best website in the world. But we're still working on it, so it's not so good at the moment. But we're gonna try. Mia omnia is 2 Latin words. Mia is like me, like my, and omnia is like all, my everything. We're trying to put everything, like the best of the videos and pictures and emailing and Facebook and MySpace and online banking and anything that you want to do, like games and video games and anything that you want to do online. We want to try to put it all in one spot so that it'll be easier, like a TV. Because you use a computer and you have to press all these buttons, and you're like, oh no, what button do I press? Especially if you're an old person. I'm an old person. What do I do? And you have to press all these buttons, like when we think like, it's really hard, and what are we going to do? So we're on this project since about 2012, trying to make the internet and computers better. Kind of like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. We're trying to be the next Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. And Harry Potter and Austin Powers and Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson and all those other cool people all combined into one. So anyways, you can go there. My Facebook is OriginalOatmeal. You can also find my Facebook with my email, originaloatmeal@gmail.com. And you can email me if you want to say anything at all, ask me questions, or just complain, or tell me how much you love me or hate me. My cell phone here in Vietnam, my Viettel cell phone mobile phone number is 0163425165. 0167 4 2 5 1 6 9 0163425165. That's my phone number. My Skype is OriginalOatmeal. You can go Google my name. Look for me if you ever want to find more information about me and you forget. OriginalOatmeal, Joey Arnold. OriginalOatmeal, Joey Arnold. You can find me all over the internet. Like, for example, again, twitter.com/OriginalOatmeal. So the list goes on and on. It's a song that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend. People started singing it, not knowing when it ends. So this is my address. 544 Nam Bong Bong Phà Vang Kệ Bò Vang Kệ Room 7. It's on like the 3rd or 4th floor, like the top floor. You have to go up. But it's at like on the bottom floor. It's like a restaurant where they sell like seafood in the evening and at night, from around like 4 or like in the afternoon until like midnight or so, like from 3 p.m. What is that, like 13th hour, or like, I don't know, but until like the 24th hour or something. So that's in this ward, Vùng Cao Giang. How do you say that? In District 1, Mo. In Saigon, that's Ho Chi Minh City. So this is my address. That's in Vietnam. That's Southeast Asia. Of the world, or the Earth, of the Milky Way, galaxy of our universe, of oatmeal and ice cream, of Jesus Christ, our Creator, and most of all, our Savior. That's my address. So, now for the story. So, I want to tell you about the story, like I've been saying, that the story is very important, and my mother says you need to forget and forgive, but I am. And people don't think that I am, and they think, well, maybe you're lying to yourself or to other people, and that maybe you don't really understand what you're saying, or that maybe there's some kind of disconnect, as Rob Nolan once told me, but at Revolution Y. But there's not exactly a disconnect, because I believe that there is no disconnect. I believe that I see things differently through different dimensions and through different points of views that you may not be aware of, the way I connect different things and ideas. So let me tell you about this story, and I believe that it's very important and relevant. Around March 2013, Kathy stole my bike. Kathy sold my bike to her friend. I told Kathy not to sell my bike. Kathy sold my bike. Kathy told my mom that she gave me the money for my bike. Kathy did not give me the money. Kathy says, oh, I gave the money, or I don't owe you money because I did things for you. But she did things for me because she wanted to do things for me. But then she also took something from me, and I did not ask her to take it from me. I did not ask her to steal my bike and to steal my money and to take that. And so the trade-off does not work that way. You can't just say, well, I did something for you, now you have to do something for me. That only works in certain deals and certain contracts when you make that kind of deal. But if you don't make that deal, then the deal's not there. You gotta make the deal before you go into the deal. Otherwise, the deal does not exist. I know you can argue like, well, you're not a financial bank, you're not a financial institution, so it doesn't really matter. And there's, if you go to a court of law in America or some other country, and if there's no correct documents and proof of all this stuff that I'm saying, that it doesn't really matter. But you know in your heart what is right and wrong, and you know that if I'm right, then you're wrong. And if you're wrong, you should not want to be wrong, because being wrong is bad. And why do you want to be wrong? And you want to correct your mistakes, even if you're in a developing country that's sort of already developed but kind of not developed. You still want to do right. You shouldn't just want to cut corners and cheat and stuff. So here, back to the story. Kathy sold my bike to her friends. I told Kathy not to sell my bike. Kathy sold my bike. And so I told Kathy not to sell my bike. Kathy sold my bike, my electric bicycle that was around $200, 4 million V&D. Kathy told my mom that she gave me the money for my bike, that she compensated, but she did not return the money back to me. Kathy did not give me the money. Instead, she bought me some Vietnamese classes so that I can learn some Vietnamese, but I did not ask for it. It was kind of nice, but she didn't really the classes were not that lot of money, and I could learn Vietnamese on my own, and so it's a lot of money, and it should have been something that I made on my own. I should have made that decision on my own, but she made the decision for me, and she shouldn't have. And I'm a little disappointed that she just took matters in her own hands, and she made some wrong assumptions. And that's the thing that we do a lot of times in life. We don't communicate correctly, and we make assumptions, and we make decisions for other people, and we put words in other people's mouths. And we shouldn't exactly do that. And we should talk to people and communicate correctly before making decisions. Even like with married couples, they do this, and they think, well, my wife is going to want this, and then they find out, oh, my wife doesn't want that, and they make this kind of mistake. Or you do that with your kids, and you buy your kids the wrong birthday presents or Christmas presents, or you take them to the wrong place for like a vacation spot for your kids or for your spouse, or there's all these different mistakes that people make because they lack communication, and communication is very important. But many times I see people and they don't communicate properly, and they say, well, everybody knows that this person wants to do this, or that you would do this in this circumstance, because of the culture, or this is what is normal. And I'd say I understand about culture, and I understand about what is normal, and that you can predict certain behavior from people because of certain patterns, but you can't always predict those things, and you have to be careful, because life is not that simple, because sometimes unpredictable things happen. Kathy stole my bike. Kathy told my mom that she gave me the money, but she didn't. Kathy did not give me the money. So it's very important to remember that Kathy says that I owe her for all the different things that I've done for her, but for the things that she's done to me, for me, but she volunteered to help me. Kathy says that I owe her. I did not owe Kathy. Kathy was helping me for free. Kathy bought me food. I was homeless. I had no job. Kathy let me sleep at her house. She had a guest room. Kathy has a guest room in her house in District 8 of Saigon, Vietnam. Kathy drove me places on her bike for free. She said, okay, I'm going to do this, and I did not ask her for help. Kathy says that I was her boyfriend, but I was just her friend. I am the friend of Kathy, just a friend. I was never her actual boyfriend. I tried correcting her English, but she would say, my English is good enough. Kathy would call every male friend of hers her boyfriend. I feel sad, because sometimes people don't listen to me all the time, and sometimes it's kind of really hard, and Kathy stole my bike, and Kathy stole money from me. Kathy lies about me to other people, and a lot of people believe her, and it's really sad that they believe her. Maybe because she's Vietnamese and other people that she talks to are Vietnamese, and they're going to believe her because she's Vietnamese and they're Vietnamese, and I'm not Vietnamese and I'm an American, so nuke me, American. Oh my goodness. Kathy lies about me. Kathy's not being honest. Kathy's name is Jung Fu Tao. Kathy's phone number is 1-286-596-055. Please call her and ask her about this information, and she may tell you a lot of lies about how she doesn't really owe me money, and that I owe her money because, that she did nice things for me and now I have to pay her back. And that's not how things work. A lot of people think, well, yeah, if I do something for you, you need to do something back. But no, it does not work that way. And people need to realize it does not work that way. It only works that way when you make a proper deal. Then there's a contract where you say, I'm gonna pay you back. But I never said, hey, help me and I'm gonna pay you back. I never went to Kathy and say, please help me. Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Please help me and I will pay you back. If I said that, then I would owe her, but I did not. Therefore, there was no deal. People need to realize that when you come and you volunteer and you give somebody a gift, it's a gift. If you have to pay back a gift, then it's not really a gift. And that's really important to remember, but people don't realize that. It's like, oh, you bought me a gift. Now I have to give you a gift. If you have to give a gift back, then it's not really a gift. It's just like a duty. It's just like a job, It's like, people don't understand the concept of free, really. Like, a lot of people don't understand the concept of free. What free is and what gifts are, what presents are. It's a precious thing, but it's been lost in many societies and cultures and countries. We have lost the true meaning of Christmas and presents and gifts and what free is. Free is free. And a lot of people say, well, there's no such thing as free and nobody can help you. You can only help yourself. But that is not true. That is not true. Open up your eyes and find out the true nature of how things are. Things are better than you can ever imagine, and the world will continue forever, and our lives will continue forever. After we die, we will go somewhere, whether that be with the presence of Christ or not. I believe in being with Christ and doing things that are better, and I want to go after what is better in life, and I believe that it's a whole lot better. And so what do you want to do? Do you just want to be a snob and be a thief and be a robber and lie a little if it gets you ahead in life? Are you willing to do that? Because we're all kind of willing to do that at times, and yet we shouldn't exactly do that. We're willing to put pillows in front of our best friend's face and snowball together like I did to Blake Webb, but I did not do that as a joke. But I don't know why I continue to make that rock your socks off joke. I'm trying to be funny, but I shouldn't always try to be funny, and I kind of smile even when I'm being serious, and then some people look at me and they think, oh, you're not being serious because you're smiling all the time, and I say, well, me and my mother, I'm not hanging out with the girls because me and Billy are like lovers. No, I'm not gay. I like girls, but sometimes bad things happen, and when bad things happen, I want to tell people about the bad things. And so, back to the story. And off the rabbit trails. We're talking about how Kathy stole my bike. Kathy's number is 12865960055. Her name is Fu Tao. Dung Fu Tao. Please remember, Kathy's mother number is this 913-624-778. Kathy's address is 753 Wing Tờ Phung 12 Quận 8 Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. That's the address to Kathy. So that's Kathy right there. Kathy. And that's her name. That's her real Vietnamese name. So Kathy's a Vietnamese woman. She's around 29 or 30 years old. Sometimes she can't totally be trusted, and she loses her anger. And it seems like it's a pattern I see in people all around the world, especially in Vietnam. I see people lose their temper, and maybe because it gets so hot in Vietnam and people just lose their mind or something. I don't exactly know how people become so bipolar, but kind of people do that. And then on the other hand, then people come and they look at me and they say, well, you have autism. They say things like that about me, and they say, well, you have autism and you have a lot of problems, and I can't believe you're alive, and you're so lucky you should be dead because you're so messed up because of the way you think, and you think differently. And that's usually a pattern that people make in life. They say, well, because you think differently, there's something wrong with you because we should all think the same. And I think that's kind of boring. Imagine if we all were the same, and every single TV show was the same, and every single song was the same. I think we'd live in a really boring world, and people need to see that creativity is better, and it's more innovative. Innovation is very important, and yet we forget about that. We forget about that too often. And it's very sad. Especially in Asian countries where we're not taught how to really ask questions and to think outside the box and to do our own things, to be individuals. Instead, we just kind of go with the crowds, and that's better for like teamwork, and teamwork is very important, but at the same time, we need to be more independent than that. You can't be independent if you can't think on your own. So here we are. This is her address in 2013, and now I don't know if she still lives here, but she was living in District 8 in 2013. District 8 of Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Kathy was still living in Saigon back then. So here's a backstory. I met her on tag.com in 2012. I also would talk to her and see her on a couchsurfing.org. And I met Kathy in real life on a Sunday. It was around 4 p.m. at Honey's house in the Tongbin district. Tongbin, near the airport. Because this other girl named Honey, or like, what's it? Honey, like, she picked me up at the airport when I came to Vietnam on the 10th of February. Because I was in the north. So, Kathy was happy to meet me when she came to see me, and she's like, she wanted to take me places, and I did not beg her. I just, I wanted to meet people in Vietnam, and I just want to help people since I was 8 years old back in '93. So for the past 20 years, I've really been over 20 years. I've been really interested in helping people. And some people say, well, you're not really interested in helping people. You're just interested in yourself. And I believe that if I'm just interested in helping myself, I would stay in America because I can help myself a whole lot more in America. Some people say, well, you're a racist. And if I'm racist, I would stay in America too. Why would I want to be around a bunch of brown people? So I really wanted to go to other countries and help people. So I came to Vietnam, but I ran into problems. And then Kathy came to help me. And I did not beg her to help me, but she decided to really help me. And on that first day, on the 17th of February, when I first met her, on a Sunday, on the 17th, around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, she took me to Lotteria, and she bought me some ice cream for free. When people do nice things for you, you should return the favor, but you don't have to. And there is a difference. There is a difference. When people do nice things for you, you should return the favor, but you don't have to. And that is the difference. You should, but you don't have to. And many times people don't know the difference between should and have to. But there are fundamental differences between should and have to. And my argument here is that I don't have to return the favor. I should, and that's what a lot of people talk about, and people will tell me, you should return the favor, and I understand, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about have to. I'm talking about obligations, and there is no obligation, but there is an obligation for her to return money back to me, because she stole my bike, and so she has to. Kathy has to return the favor, because she stole my bike. But I did not steal money from her. She voluntarily gave me money. Please remember the distinction between the two. So here, Kathy was happy to meet me, and Kathy volunteered to take me to Lotteria, and Kathy bought me ice cream, and she really wanted to help me find jobs, and I've been getting a lot of help from a lot of different people to get help. I get help from people, and people try to help me. And I'm really thankful, and a lot of times people say, well, you're not appreciative, but I am appreciative in a lot of different ways, and I am thankful whether you see it or not, whether you like it or not. Look, I got a smile on my face, and sometimes I'm too busy and I'm thinking ahead, and you may not realize, but put a smile on your face and make the world better. Put a smile on your face, and what you gonna do? What you gonna do? That's a song for McDonald's, which McDonald's just came to Saigon, Vietnam this year, and I'm excited, and some people are freaked out. But I got a smile on my face, and I'm appreciative, and I'm thankful, and I'm not sad, and I'm not angry. Even if you think I'm angry, and even if you think I'm complaining and crying, I'm not. It's because you're misunderstanding me, you're misreading me, you're misinterpreting me, you're being biased and stereotypical and racist, because you're kind of not being open-minded enough to try to understand my point of view and what I'm trying to say and how I see the world. It takes time for you to come over to my world, because I live in like another dimension, in another world, and how I see things, and some of what I write and say is right. I would argue that maybe everything I say is right, because that's me, and I'm biased that way, but you should have an open mind, and you should not be so quick to judge and to say, well, and to assume, that I'm wrong. Because what if I'm right and you're wrong? Because it's possible. And I'm not here to say that you're always wrong. And a lot of times people look at me and they say, well, you think that you're always right. that other people are always wrong. And that's not exactly true. Let me tell you a little secret. That's not always true. I listen to people. I think about what people say all of the time. I'm always thinking about what people say, and it's very important to me. I read comments on my Facebook and on YouTube, and I watch things, and I'm always thinking, and I struggle to sleep at night because I'm thinking, what if this person is right? What if this person is right about this and that? And many times people look at me, and based on what I say and what I do and how I talk and what I write, and they say, well, based on these things, I think that you don't listen and that you don't care. But that's not true. I really do care, and I'm really passionate about becoming better. And you should be interested in progressing in character development as yourself. You know, you want to evolve, you want to enhance yourself, and you have to be open-minded, and you have to be teachable. And it's very important to look at things in different ways, like turn your head upside down and look at the world upside down, or right side up, or sideways, since the earth is kind of sideways. Like, you know, we live on a globe that's like, you know, and we're like sideways, except everything doesn't look sideways, but it's like we are, and it's like, it's really weird, but that's the world that we live in, and there's more to the world than we may ever imagine. Kathy was happy to meet me back on the 17th of February 2013. I met her before that, like in 2012 online, like tag and couchsurfing. And she volunteered to take me places like Lateria, and she bought me ice cream for free, and she was trying to help me find work, find employment, like for TC English. Tôi là giáo viên tiếng Anh. I'm an English teacher. Tôi là giáo viên tiếng Anh. So, and I try to help people, you know. Tôi 28 tuổi. I'm 28 years old. Tôi tên là Joey. My name is Joey. Nước Mỹ, American. Tôi là nước Mỹ. I'm an American from the United States of America. So, she wanted to help me find a job. I did not ask Kathy for help. I did not make any deals with Kathy. I did not force Kathy to help me. Please remember, I did not force Kathy to help me. Kathy is free to do what she wants to do in her life. I did not hold a gun to her head and say, you have to give me money. I did not do that. There was no deal. If there was a deal where I say, okay, you give me money and I'll give it back, then you can make an argument and say, well, she doesn't really owe you anything because, you know, you took from her, so she can take from you, like she can take your bike because you took things from her. And I say, no, she gave it to me, therefore I don't have to give it back. And there's a very important difference. There's a fundamental difference between the two, and a lot of times when I tell this story to a lot of people, they don't understand, and I get really sad, and I'm like, don't you understand the difference between a gift and not a gift? People don't really understand what a gift is. A gift is free, and people say there's no such thing as free. There is no such thing as something that is free, but there are things that are free. Really, there are. Like air. How much money do you pay for air? Air is free. Air is free. You know that air is free. Air is free. Air is free. But how much money do you pay for air? Air is free, but you say there is no such thing. There is no such thing as free. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. But what about air? How much money is air? The oxygen that you breathe. What do you call it? H2O, not water. But, you know, air. Air is free. But I thought nothing was free. Oh, some things are free. Like a gift. Like if I give you something, it's free. And they say, well, it cost you money. Yes, it cost me money, but it did not cost you any money. It cost me money, but it did not cost you any money. You don't have to return the favor. Now, maybe you should, but you don't have to. And there's a difference between should and have to. Remember that. And that's what I'm trying to say. Kathy did things for me. And that's nice, and I'm thankful. I really am. Whether you may look at the tone of my voice, and I kind of don't like the tone of my voice sometimes, and I watch some of my videos, and sometimes I'm a little more like screechy or girly or something. But regardless of my performance, of my appearance, look past what you see in my face and the tone of my voice, and think about the message that I'm trying to present, which is things are real. Gifts are free. Gifts are real. Presents are real. Presents are free and real and genuine, and you don't have to pay it back. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose, and it's not really a gift if you have to return it. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? You say there's nothing in the world that is free. There is no such thing as something that's free, and nobody can help you. But people can help you, and things are free. I did not ask Kathy to help me. She voluntarily helped me. I did not beg her to help me. I did not force her to help me. I did not make deals with her. I did not make contracts with her. I did not make any oaths or promises with her. I did not promise, you help me, then I'll help you. There was none of that. If there was something like that, then you could say, well, she helped me, and then I helped her by giving her my bike. And then she could take my bike, she could take my money. And that's fine if there was some kind of deal like that. But there was no deal like that. And that's one of the arguments that she's making. She tells people, well, that's how the world is, and he's stupid for not knowing. Kathy says that I'm stupid because I don't know about that. But I do know about that, but that did not happen. I'm aware of those kinds of deals where, you help me, then I help you. I know that's how the world works. But the world does not have to work that way, especially when deals are not made in that exact specific way. I did not make deals with Kathy. I did not force Kathy to help me. Kathy is free to do whatever she wants to do. I did not hold a gun to her head and say that she has to help me. This means that I do not owe Kathy money. I did not borrow money from Kathy. Kathy gave me things for free. Free means 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 free. And people say there's no such thing as free, but there is. It's a fundamental fact that there are things that are free, like air. Kathy said that she wanted to help me out. Kathy let me live at her house in District 8 for the month of March 2013, approximately. I did not ask Kathy for this. I did not beg Kathy for this. Kathy volunteered to feed me for free. Kathy then demanded that I buy a bike. After I bought a bike, Kathy sold the bike. After I bought a bike, Kathy sold the bike. So, I'm a person, I care about people since I was 8 years old for the past 20 years, over the past 20 years, really care about people. I was born in 1985. In 93, when I was 8, I really started thinking about other people. Before that, I was a little more selfish. And then I've been doing a lot of different things in life to, try to help people. And a lot of different things. And I believe that I'm making a difference in the world, whether you like it or not, and whether you believe it or not. I believe that I'm important, and I believe that I help people, and that I know a lot of people, and I try my best, and that's all we can do. And then I came to Vietnam in 2012, and I ran into some problems, and then I didn't have jobs, I didn't have work. But then she came out of nowhere, and she started talking to me, and then she was trying to help me. And then she told me, you need to get a bike so that you can go around and go to the different schools, because I was able to find a job, and I was teaching English at some kindergarten schools and elementary schools for a little bit, and I got a little bit of money just for 1 month. I got maybe a little bit more than $500, more than 10 million. It was more than that, but that only lasted for 1 month, and then the next month it was half of that much money. And then after that, they stopped giving me work, and so for 8 different months in Vietnam, I've had no work. I've been here for only around 12 months, 1 year, a little bit more than a year now, and for around 8 different months I've had no work, and then the other months I've only got only around like $100 or less. That's around like 2 million VND. And so sometimes I kind of struggle. And you could say, well, you struggle because you suck. And I say, well, I don't suck. Some people say, well, you're not really good at English. And I say, well, I'm a native English teacher and an English speaker and a tutor and a counselor, and I know how to speak and I know how to do things. And so please don't say that I don't know, because I do know. After I bought a bike, Kathy sold my bike, and that was kind of sad. So Kathy did not give me the money for the bike. I told Kathy not to take my bike, but she did. So I'm 29 years old next month, and I'm turning 30 years old in 2015. That's next year, when Michael J. Fox comes back as Marty McFly in the Back in the Future series. Dun dun dun, with the hoverboards and the time machine and stuff. I'm making a reference to a video, a movie, a film. But you may not have seen the film, and you may not know what I'm talking about. So, moving on. I'm 29 years old. My name is Joey Arnold. Joey Arnold. Joey Arnold. My name is Joey Arnold. You can call me OriginalOatmeal. I was born 6 a.m. Monday, the 11th of February, 1985. 1985 is the year of the buffalo. My sign is Aquarius. Aquarius people are crazy. And I wanted to help people. I wanted to help others since I was 8 years old. In the year of 1993, I was homeschooled via my mother, and a lot of people helped me growing up. I've got a lot of help from like different clubs and a homeschooling club and Awanas and Olympians and different churches, places where we worship God and Christ, and because I'm a Christian and I believe in those kinds of things, and fundamentally and tremendously I believe in those things, even though I have like a father who's like alcoholic and abusive, and he doesn't really want to believe in God, but he was like raised as a Mormon. So I was born and raised in Forest Grove, Oregon of the United States of America. That's USA. USA. I was raised in the ghetto in a Rose Grove mobile home park. The trailer is not a real house, so it's kind of like born below poverty level, and not really rich. And a lot of people look at me and they make this remarks, they think and they assume that I'm a rich American coming to Vietnam, and you do that a lot, and you look at people and say, well, a lot of English teachers make a lot of money in Vietnam, a lot of foreigners come to Vietnam and they make a lot of money, and therefore you probably make a lot of money too. But I don't make a lot of money. So those are the thing, and assume that I make a lot of money, and they say, well, why don't you work at the bigger schools? And I say, because I don't have the certain certificates, because I came to Vietnam without the right certificates or degrees that I should have to work. So because I don't have it, I still don't have, because I don't have a lot of money, and I can't make a lot of money because I don't have it. And they said, well, you should have got it before you came. But I did not, because the school lied to me. A school called New Star, they told me to come and teach English, and they said I don't need a certificate, and so I believed their lie, and then I came, and it was too late, and now I'm kind of stuck, and I'm still planning to get some, certificates like a TEFL, a TRISL, or something. But I still got to work on that. So I was born and raised in the ghetto, and I ran into a lot of problems, like partly deaf when I was growing up, and my mom, I was partly deaf, and my mother almost died before I was born, like giving birth to me, or before I was born, and doctors thought I'd never pass the 6th grade, and they thought I was just mentally retarded with an autism and Treacher-Collins syndrome and all the problems. My teeth, like my chin's too small, and the top of the roof of my mouth is too high, so my tongue is too short and can't touch the top of my mouth to make certain sounds, and my eye, like the lid is hanging, and then I had problems with my ears, and my brain damage, and all these different problems growing up. And so, but my mother never gave up on me, and I did not quit, and I kept on going by the grace of God, and through the help of my mother and a lot of other people, even my siblings thought I was an alien, and it was a lot of hard work, but I kept on going, and I started making videos with my family and friends when I was in 1995, when I was 10 years old, and I'm a musician and a writer and an artist and a filmmaker and a teacher and a consultant and an athlete and a basketball player and a comedian and a guitarist and a pianist and a cartoonist and an oatmeal eater and an ice cream eater and a carpenter and a consultant and a designer and a debater, video game designer, video game player, and businessman, entrepreneur, philosopher, inventor, illustrator, dancer, editor, singer, designer, idea man, and so much more. Carpenter, philosopher, plumber, maybe a little bit. And I like to make things out of wood, and I like to try new things. And I like to be an entrepreneur and a humanitarian and all these different things. I like to find ways to help people and make the world a better place as an inventor. And I wanted to travel the world since '93 when I was 8, and I'm always trying to go places and do things. And like I was homeschooled, and I went to high school, and then I went to New York for college, and then West Virginia, and then also Quebec for a mission trip in Idaho, and I went to Hawaii. And now, see, in 2012, a girl asked me to come to Vietnam and teach English with her, and so I came at noon, Thursday, 29th of November 2012, and the school promised me to work. It was a New Start school, and so I taught English at a New Start school in Bacne for 5 days, but they already hired a second teacher from the Philippines, and before I arrived in Vietnam, and then like they already had 2 teachers or so, and then they didn't really need a third teacher. So Tuesday morning, I was in my hotel, and I got this email to my Gmail, I think, and it was from the director at the school, the New Start school, and he used the Google Translate to say that I'm bad in English, and I like to say to him, like, how can I be bad in English? Like, how do you know that I'm bad in English if you have to use Google Translate to tell me that? So basically, I was fired before I was hired. I was fired before I was hired. That would make a great rap song. And, to say that I'm bad in English, and that I don't know how to teach, and I'm just a tutor and not a teacher. And then I was basically stuck in Vietnam at that point. But I was able to stay at a restaurant because the owner was a Vietnamese guy that's been to America for like 20 years, and he understood how I felt to be in another country, and he helped me out, and I was able to like help them and work there for free, and they'd give me a place to stay and food, and I'd be able to teach English there for December and December 2012 and January 2013, and I did not have enough money to return back to the USA, and I also do not want to go back to America. If I went back to America, I'd be throwing away my whole life and everything that I stand for, because I stand for going to other countries as a missionary, like Paul the Apostle, and I want to do those things and go boldly where no man has gone before, like Kirk and Picard in the Star Trek series. So I did not really have enough money. I did not have a lot of money to go back to America, and I don't want to go back to America because for the past 20 years I've wanted to go to other countries to make the world a better place. In January, I taught English to people like college students in Hanoi, and later in Wabin at a museum. But then, like, sometimes people say, I'm not really good at English, and then I have to move on. And also somebody's hometown for the Tet 2013 Lunar New Year in the Tanho province, and then 6 p.m. Sunday, February 10th, a day before my birthday, my last birthday, I arrived in Saigon, and Honey picked me up, and her Facebook name is like, that's part of her Facebook name, HNY, and also her Gmail too, and I was able to stay at her house in Tong Binh district near the airport in Saigon, Vietnam. And that was really nice, and I was able to go to her hometown for a week, and then I came back, and then I met Kathy on the 17th of February, and then later Kathy forced me to buy a bike, and later Kathy stole my bike, and that was kind of sad. So Kathy stole my bike, Kathy lies, Kathy forced me to buy a bike. I did not want a bike. I told Kathy I do not want a bike. Kathy said that I had to buy a bike. Kathy said that I had to sell my bike. I did not want to sell my bike. I told Kathy not to take my bike. I told Kathy that I do not want a bike. I told Kathy not to steal my bike. Kathy stole my bike. Kathy stole my money. Kathy stole my heart. Kathy stole my integrity. Kathy robbed my reputation. Kathy told my mom that Kathy gave me money for my bike. Kathy lies. Kathy did not give me money for my bike. Kathy lies to herself. Kathy lies to her brain. Kathy did not have to buy me food. Kathy did not have to drive me to places. Kathy didn't have to help me. Kathy helped me for free. Kathy stole my bike. I did not ask for help. I had a bike. Kathy took my bike. Kathy took my bike. I did not want a bike. This reminds me of Dr. Seuss. I do not want green eggs and ham. You know when you listen to that story, the book by Dr. Seuss, I don't want green eggs and ham. I don't want green eggs and ham on a house, on a cat, on a door, in a car. I don't want it anywhere. And that's basically what this kind of story is trying to say, because I'm making the argument of saying, if you help me, that's good, but I don't have to help you back. I should, but I don't have to, and that is the point I'm trying to make across, and I want people to agree with me, but I don't want people to agree with me and pretend to agree with me and to really lie to me just to make me shut up. Because I know a lot of times people do that, and they say, okay, I agree with you, but they don't. Because I don't like when people lie. Kathy stole my bike. I did not ask for help. I had a bike. Kathy took my bike. So, I had a bike. Kathy took my bike. I did not want a bike. I at least did not want that bike, because it wasn't really that good of a bike, and I had problems, and I had to spend a lot of money for the bike, and it wasn't really that good. I also want compensation for the bike, and I did not get compensation. Kathy did not compensate for the bike. She stole from me. Kathy lies about this. Kathy continues to lie to me, to herself, and to others. Want people to know about the story. Don't let people steal. Don't let people lie. Very important to remember. Don't let people lie. And that's the end of the story. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And there might be other things that I want to show you. I think I want to show you a little bit about what is going on here. This is her Facebook. Kathy. This is her Facebook. You can go to her Facebook. Facebook.com/Kathy Tao. And you can talk to her if you want. Ask her what she thinks, and she'll tell you, or she might not tell you anything, because it's like, leave me alone and whatever I think is right, because usually that's how people like to live their lives. They don't want to admit to their problems. Let me click on F5 for a refresh, see if I got anything new. So one moment please as this updates. And this is from about 18 hours ago. If you know Vietnamese, you can read this and try to translate. See more. Let's see. Try to translate some of this. Feel so brainwashed. Asian. I think she's trying to say, like, maybe I think that she's brainwashed, and maybe I do. And she's quoting from different things that I write online, and I tell people, and things that I write to her because I email her sometimes. And here in Vietnamese, I don't know what that says. But you can always stop this video and try to read it if you want to try to read it. But translated it says feel brainwashed. Kathy lies to me. Kathy lies to herself. If you have that, then you don't need to share it on Facebook. 4 million to me. And then she talks about it in charity. She talks about the things that she's done for me. And like I was saying before, it doesn't matter what she's done for me, because he did it for free. Like this. This is a snack that somebody gave for me for free. Because I'm in a pagoda right now. I'm in a Tualitin right now. And right now it's, what is it? February 5. 2014. 2014. Remember, 2014. I don't know why it's funny, but it's like, I don't know if you can read this, but, so what does it say? Allies, the beginning. Some of this, I don't know, the translation doesn't go that good. But here's what I wrote. In my email, I wrote to her, and I wrote like in third person instead of you. I wrote Kathy. Don't think I'm a retarded. I'm not retarded. I'm aware of the things I do. I do the things that I do on purpose. And people say, well, you don't do the things you do on purpose. You're retarded. And I say, I'm not retarded. I'm aware of what I do. Okay, so look at this. Okay, so this is OriginalOatmeal, and I write to her on the Gmail, and I say, Kathy, this is all the things I already told you. I already told you, and then that's the end of the email. Kathy continues to lie to other people and to herself and to her own brain about what happened. And then I got, there's some comments here. like this guy. And I'm not really happy for what he's saying. And he's like, oh, he's just like an elementary school student because the way I write and that I'm really simple-minded and like a child. That's what the master says at the pagoda here. He's like, I'm just like a child, but in a good way. But he's saying that in a bad way. And a lot of times people do that and they just look down at what I say because of the way I say it. But I say it because I'm trying to oversimplify things so that people can understand what I'm saying. This is kind of blurry, so I don't think you can actually read it. So, but this says something about autism. About how I suffer from autism and how there's something wrong with me and all the different things. But it's not really translating that good into English. So, it's going to be really hard to follow. If you really want to follow it. In Vietnamese, if you know Vietnamese, you can tell me what it's saying. And you can just go to this Facebook and try to read all this and try to make sense of it and let me know what you think later. This is almost the end of the video. And she says, I'm going to go to work and it's late. What else? What else does it say? It says, I knew J. J stands for me, Joey Arnold. I know J. Right here it says J, right there. J. That's Joey. That's me. Knew him about 2 days on couch surfing, and then other people would say bad things about me because that's kind of what people do. But that does not make me a crazy person. But then she says, I was his boyfriend, but girlfriend. But she was not my girlfriend. And I was not her boyfriend. But that's what she says. And that's what she thinks. And she would kind of go crazy because sometimes she would hate me and sometimes she would love me. And it was really confusing. And here's what he says. He says, well, it's a common characteristic of boys. Myself, I don't know what he means. Like, maybe he's saying that I'm like it too. I don't know. But that people want to be noticed. Like, I'm just a attention grabber that I want everybody to look at me, and that's kind of true, but it's not exactly true because I just want to help people. And something about autism. And then this is something else. And it says, interesting that you're still updating and telling people about this after so much time. And that maybe she can get a witness, an innkeeper. But I'm not exactly sure what all that means. This girl, she kind of misunderstands the situation. Like, she was my friend on Facebook, but then she kind of turned, and because she's not really understanding what's going on. And she said something about, like, she thought it was a fun trip. Like, just a fun trip that, I came to Vietnam for a trip. But I've been here since 2012, so it's not just a trip. I came here to teach English. But then, she read in all my status about, sometimes I say, oh, can I come? Can I come to visit? And then she feels like, there could be a problem with the fact that I want to do that, and that maybe I'm a bad person. And usually that's kind of how people see things. And then Kathy says, well, I'm worried about her mother's honor and stuff like that. Here's more. I don't know. You slandered me about stealing a bike and then hired the police and look at the information. And what does that say in Vietnamese? What does that say? I don't know. I don't know if this is going to help anybody watching this video. And then she talks about the story. The story is like, I know Joey. This is Kathy writing about me and how, like, Joey crashed to deprive himself and how he's lost and stuck in Vietnam and back knee and running around, and he has to go to South to Vietnam. And his parents, I don't know why it says her. Like, I'm not a her, I'm not a female, I'm not a girl. You calling me a girl? I think this is just because of the Google Translate problem. And I'm not really sure how that works, but it's basically said something about how my parents and my relatives can't really help, or something like that. I'm not really sure what to think. And I'm not really sure what this says either. But I guess now is a good time to go to another place. I can go to my email. I can go here. I got all these different emails here. I try to